Hey guys, Jason Creel, and this is the Lawn Care Life. Today, I'm going to talk to you about something that I feel pretty strongly about, and that's the ability to use a string trimmer, weed eater, weed whacker, or like they call it in Australia, I think they call it a whippersnipper, and I think in the UK they call it a strimmer. Anyway, whatever you call it, we call it weed eater in the South. Anyway, whatever you call it, when I was mowing a lot of grass, you know, it seemed like people had this disease, and it was the disease of being addicted to the lawnmower, but they were almost allergic to these things. And I said, well, anybody can get on the lawnmower and go back and forth, but I want to see your skills on this. So if you don't know how to use one of these, I'm going to show you some of the 5 must-have skills in my mind for you to be a professional with the string trimmer. And that was, you know, I could work with somebody for literally 10 minutes and I could tell, okay, this guy is what he knows how to handle his string trimmer. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna show you the skills and I'm gonna demonstrate, and I'll be honest, I'm a weed control and fertilization guy now. I'm a little bit rusty, but it's like riding a bicycle. I think I can remember how to use it. So, and I still have a lot of practice on my own yard. So let's get started. 5 must-have skills to be a professional with a weed eater. I'm gonna call it what we call it in the South. Let's get started. If you notice my shirt, I've got the shirt we got last year. Because we missed the GIE Expo from last year. If you go in this year, I'll put a code in the description that you can use to get a half off your ticket. So hopefully we'll see you guys at the GIE Expo this year in October 2021. Okay, you see this is a, call it what you want. I mean, you could basically a flower bed with no flowers, but I've got this area with pine straw, maybe whether you got pine straw or mulch. And this was cut yesterday with a lawnmower, but guess what happens? Look what happens sometimes when you mow the grass. You see how that's sticking up significantly higher right here than over here? And that's what happens. You end up with a little bit of a lip because if you get your mower hanging all the way over here, maybe it falls off the edge and scalps it. Maybe you get into the pine straw and mulch and start mulching that up, you know, no pun intended there, but so it's not good. So anyway, what we need to do here to clean this up is we need to define this edge, and then I'm going to show you what else I'm going to do. I'm going to come back and I'm going to level this part out to make it a nice even transition. Just in case you're curious what string trimmer I like the Husqvarna trimmers. This is a 525 LS. The best one I ever had was a 326 LS. That was my all-time favorite. It weighed 9 pounds. This one's a little heavier, but still on the light side. It's got good balance of power and weight, and it has the ergonomic handle. I'm not saying there's not other good brands of trimmers. It's just the one I prefer. For me, a trimmer has to perform well upside down or I don't want to use it. Yes, I do take the guard off of mine, and when I'm edging, I prefer the line to be a little bit longer. So let me demonstrate how I'm going to edge this. Actually, I'm going to demonstrate before I turn it on. So I'm going to edge, and this will work on a sidewalk, a flower bed, tree ring, whatever. But some people, there's 2 ways I see people primarily do it. I'm going to show you one way. Some people put it up close to their shoulder, and they're just using a finger. But the idea is that you're going to get the line at a 90-degree angle to make a nice clean edge. I don't prefer this method. It's not a bad method. The way I do it, the way I teach people to do it, is I'm sitting there holding like this, and it's just one quick move. I flip it like that. So I'm holding it and I flip. Hold it, I flip. But to me, that's quicker than doing this, you know. But anyway, however you'll do it, I flip it, I'm trying to get it 90 degrees, and I'm using my thumb on the trigger in that situation. Let me demonstrate what I just told you. The other thing is very important to understand which way the head's spinning, so you'll know which way the debris is going. I like with no guard, I like these speed feed heads. They're awesome, and you know, it makes it very fast to change the line out when you run out. So anyway, that's my setup. Let's get started working. Now that I made my perimeter past making the edge, now I can buzz around it to get rid of that lip that I showed you, where it sticks up a little higher, where the mower didn't go all the way up there. The other way you can do it is to do this first and then mow afterwards. That would basically, then at that point you could go ahead and go around the edge, and then the mower would know how close he had to get to keep from having that lip. But anyway, the lip's there, so I'm gonna buzz around it and make it look good. Trying to accomplish there. We're trying to make a nice smooth transition from where the grass was mowed, also a clean edge, and I think we've accomplished that. You can just see the contrast between the pine straw, of course it could be freshened up, and the green grass, so I think it looks nice. And when these crepe myrtles start blooming, it'll look even nicer. All right, in this situation, this is where a trampoline used to be. You know how that goes sometimes? You see how tall that is? That's actually Bermuda grass. It hadn't been mowed in I don't know how long. Anyway, but the point being, sometimes you end up with really tall, thick grass. And depending on the power of your trimmer, you may be able to go through there and just wipe it out in a normal style. But I'm going to show you a way that I like to approach when I have tall grass. Sometimes if your trimmer starts getting bogged down or tangled up in the grass, I'm going to show you a different technique. And I like to come in from on the top of the grass and beat it down from the top, and then get it, once I get it beat down to a normal level, then I can smooth it out. So let me demonstrate that right now on this, where the trampoline was. In that section, to be honest with you, sometimes you get in there and you start weeding, it's a little bit different than I thought. Some of that was thin enough where I could just kind of go at it without coming in from the top. If it's super thick grass and your trimmer starts bogging down, then to me, you come in from the top. But in that situation, basically what I had to do was sort of take it down layer by layer by layer. But it allowed me to do one thing that I wasn't thinking about in this situation. Sometimes when you're trying to cover a large area, now in that situation we could have just cut it with a lawnmower, but sometimes, whether it be on a big hill or whatever, you need to cover a large area, and what you want to do in that situation is just make long, wide passes, so you just keep the trigger all full throttle and make long, wide passes. So that's kind of what I'm doing there. Take it down a layer, then take it down a layer, then take it down a layer, and then try to smooth it out best you can. Again, from now on, now it looks presentable at least. We can clear it up with a lawnmower moving forward. Another skill, I think this helps make a yard look nice, is sometimes there is a low spot in a yard, or maybe something happens and there's a mistake with the lawnmower. You hit a dip and it kind of scalps an area, and you need to take the string trimmer to be able to smooth it out and make it look as presentable as possible in that situation. So I'm gonna show you how to do that now. So you see right here where my foot is, this is significantly lower right here. It's a dip. Now it needs to be filled in with topsoil or something to make it more level, but the grass is probably 2 inches taller down inside of here, and so I can smooth that out. But what might also happen, I'm gonna make a bad spot in the yard just to show you how I'm gonna try to fix it, to level it out, to minimize the damage when a place looks bad. See, in that situation, what we need to do is fix the problem, but what we did was in a low spot, and it may be a low spot that's 10 times that size, where the mower can't get in there and cut it, but you can make it nice and smooth with your string trimmer in a steady hand. So now I'm gonna make a bad spot in the yard and show you, or sometimes you hit that bump and it scalps the spot and you try to fix the damage. All right, so what happened there? Oh, the mower hit a bump and it left a big scalp spot in the yard. Now, how do I make that look as decent as possible? It's gonna grow back, but you want to kind of fade it out, where it goes from low to slightly higher till you get back to the normal level. Again, you can't erase what happened, but you can smooth it out so it doesn't look so devastating. All right, I'm gonna demonstrate around this tree ring. Basically gonna be similar to a flower bed. I want to go around it, and then I'm gonna come back and level out the edge around this tree ring. In this situation, you make the ring. There may not be much of a lip, but if there is, you see I make that second pass around with my trimmer in a normal position to level out the edge so that you don't have, a high area right here and then normal grass right here. It also can help if you threw any pine straw or mulch out into the yard when you were doing the initial pass around edging. It can help throw that back into the pile if you need to. Of course, you could use a blower for that. You don't have to gas it wide open when you're going around that second time. You're just basically trying to clean up any lip that's left on the grass, and it may not be necessary every time. Depends on how the mower was used. All right, in this situation, you got a hill that's not safe to put a zero-turn mower on, so I'm going to make those long, wide passes on a hill. I prefer usually to stand on the bottom of the hill and reach up. You can, in this situation, you could do that and sort of walk up the hill, or if you get to the top, you can get on the top of the hill and lean down, but that, to me, that's a little bit harder leaning over from the top of the hill. I'd rather stand lower and go high. So let me demonstrate that. another example where you got to use your string trimmer to kind of make a smooth transition. So the mower can get the level part, but up on that hill it's a little too steep. So it's going to leave a little edge right there, and you might take your trimmer through here and kind of smooth it out and make it look nice and clean. And lastly, we're going to show you how to edge a sidewalk. And this is, you know, some people say, oh, you need to use a stick edger to edge a sidewalk. Well, I agree. In many cases, that's the situation that's the easiest tool to learn how to use to make a nice clean edge. But sometimes when you're out there and you got just a little bit of edging to do, it's easy just to use the same tool you got. And if you can make it look great, then I think that's acceptable too. And plus, the same skills you're using to edge a sidewalk, you can use to edge tree rings, to edge flower beds. So there's situations where, in my opinion, you need to learn how to edge with a string trimmer. Now this looks like a little bit of a war zone here. So it's overgrown, and there's little debris and rocks and everything, so I've got to be super careful. Again, you want to make sure you understand which way the sticks and the debris are being thrown, away from house, away from people, and hopefully away from yourself, okay? So that situation, and if it is really, really bad, like it's so overgrown you can't even find the edge of the sidewalk, in that situation you do what I like to call a cheater edge, okay? And I might demonstrate this one time. I like to take the trimmer and turn it at an angle, and basically all I'm doing is just peeling the grass back until I get to the edge, okay? So I'm just skimming it back until I can actually get to the edge, and then now I can actually see where the edge is. I can turn it completely vertical and make an edge. So in this situation, I'm gonna see if I can just go vertical and make a straight edge. I may have to run over it twice. It's a real short sidewalk because it's so overgrown and looks nasty. In that situation, I'm gonna run over and try to smooth it out. But it's so overgrown, it's hard to actually see where the edge is, but I'm gonna clean it up and we'll see the finished product, see how good I can make it look. That was not exactly your everyday edging job, okay, but I think that looks way improved. I basically had to use it, and this is one thing string trimmers are good for. You can almost use them as an eraser. If you've got a weed growing up in the crack of the sidewalk, you just run over there and it buzzes them off. I basically had to knock all that stuff back off the sidewalk to even find where an edge goes. But you know, compare that with what it did look like, or what this edge looks like. I think we made some significant improvements on that edge. Hey, thanks for watching the video. There are more skills I didn't demonstrate. There's another video popping up now that has 10 skills, some of the same ones. But you can use a string trimmer as a blower. You ever seen a situation where somebody already blew off the driveway and then somebody come by and threw a few grass clippings out there? You just get a long string and you use it as a blower. Also, if you've got grass clippings left over that's clumping up in the yard, you can use the string trimmer to disperse the grass clippings to make it not look so bad. So there's a lot of uses for a string trimmer. I even mentioned in other videos, self-defense. If you get attacked by wasps when they come out of the privacy fence and they just go crazy after you, you have to sometimes defend yourself with the string trimmer. So anyway, enjoy the video. Over 600 videos on the channel. You can go to lawncarelife.com to check out resources for those of you in the lawn care business. Talk to you later. Bye.